Hello, my name is Travis Fig, and this is How Do You Figure? There is general agreement that a lot of people believe things they shouldn't because they trust unreliable sources. But there is a lot of disagreement about which sources are reliable and which are not. That's what I want to talk about. What is a reliable source about a topic? A reliable source about a topic is a source that you can trust to provide you with accurate information about that topic. The phrase, about a topic, is important. No one knows everything. The fact that a source is reliable about one thing doesn't mean it is going to be reliable about something else. So, you shouldn't ask whether a source is reliable in general, but whether the source is reliable about a particular issue. What makes a source reliable about a topic? A source is reliable about a topic just in case the source has accurate information about the topic and the source presents that information accurately. If the source does not have accurate information, or the source has accurate information but does not present it in an accurate way, then the source is not reliable about that topic. How can you decide whether or not a source is reliable about a given topic? Here are 5 yes-no questions that you can ask about a source. If you can reasonably answer yes to all 5 questions, you have good reason to think that the source is reliable about that topic. But the more questions you answer no to, the more reason you have to doubt whether that source is reliable. First question, is there a plausible way the source could have learned the information? If the source is going to provide you with accurate information, the source would have had to acquire that information somehow. If you cannot tell a plausible story about how the source learned the information, you have reason to doubt whether the source is trustworthy. Second question, does the information originate with someone who was there, or an expert on the topic? There has to be someone who first reports the information, the original source. If the claim is about some event, we can ask whether the original source is someone who was actually present. If the source wasn't there to experience the event firsthand, we might have reason to suspect that the information the source is providing us might not be accurate. Of course, sometimes it is not possible to find anyone who was present for a given event. And sometimes we might be interested in claims that aren't about events at all, such as what the weather will be like in a certain city next week, and what is the best route to get there. In these cases, it matters whether your source is an expert on the topic or not. An expert on a topic is someone who has spent a lot of time and effort studying the topic, usually under the guidance of other experts. If you spend a lot of time studying something, you're probably going to have a better understanding of it than the average person. Experts can be mistaken, of course, but an expert on a topic will typically be a more reliable source about that topic than someone who is not an expert. For the next 2 questions, I'm going to talk about what I will call a chain of sources. Sometimes you get your information directly from the original source. Often, however, the information will be first passed from the original source to someone else, and then to someone else, and so on, until the information finally comes to you. I'm going to call all of these sources collectively a chain of sources, because each source is like a link on a chain. Third question, are the credentials of everyone on the chain of sources verifiable? Credentials are reasons to think that someone knows what she or he is talking about. For instance, if someone claims to have been present for an important event, her being present is a reason to think she knows what she is talking about. It is a credential. But someone might be dishonest and tell you he was present at an event when he wasn't. If there is some means of verifying that the source was there, such as a photograph or a witness, that gives us some reason to trust the source. Another kind of credential is evidence of expertise, such as having an advanced degree about a topic. Again, the reason it is important that credentials are verifiable is that someone could lie about them. If I tell you that I have a PhD in anthropology, you can go check. If you do, you will find that I do not. If I tell you that I have a friend who is a close advisor to the president, but I can't say who, there really isn't any good way to check. The fact that people can check whether I have a PhD in anthropology gives me a reason not to lie about it. Someone might show that I lied. But there isn't any good way to check whether or not I have a close friend who is an advisor to the president, which means it's very easy for me to lie about that. The nice thing is that you don't actually have to verify the source's credentials in many cases. The fact that the credentials could be verified gives the source at least some incentive to be truthful. But if you have suspicions about the source's credentials, it might be a good idea to actually try to verify them. Fourth question: was everyone on the chain of sources able to acquire accurate information about the topic and incentivized to share it accurately? An eyewitness to an event may not be a reliable source if under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or severe stress. Such a person may not have been in the right condition to acquire the information accurately. Even if someone has acquired accurate information, he might lie about it. It is important to ask if your source has any reason to deceive you and any reason not to. Does this person have anything to gain by lying? Does this person have any special reason to tell the truth? Fifth question: is there agreement among independent sources? Two sources are independent just in case neither gets his or her information from the other. And if either one gets the information from a third source, they do not both get it from that source. If two independent sources agree about something, that gives you some reason to think they aren't just making it up. If they disagree, you know that one or both is mistaken. There you go. 5 yes/no questions you can ask to help decide whether a source is reliable about a given topic. These questions seem pretty obvious, and they are. The problem is that they are so obvious that we often forget to ask them, with the consequence that we might end up trusting sources that are not reliable. So, the next time you come across some new information, make sure to ask yourself whether it is from a reliable source.